Hello, and welcome to another episode of Help Me See. That's it. An exhale. 2025 has been absolutely unhinged. I've been sick. I got really sick, and I don't even remember if I mentioned this in the last episode, but I had the flu, and took so long. It was horrific, and I've had a clogged ear for weeks. It's still clogged and ringing. It's driving me absolutely fucking insane. And I started a new job, a part-time job. So I've been trying to find a new flow and version of normal, but still not fully recovered from the whole house sickness, and also still hearing an incessant ringing inside of my head, which seems actually wildly appropriate. I've also been absolutely so distracted and consumed with the horrifying reality that California is facing right now with the fires in Los Angeles. It weighs so heavy on my heart, just unfathomable damage, and I can't even speak to it. And it's also so bizarre. Like, life is so bizarre as I'm sitting here glued to screens, like watching the devastation, and then I look out my window and I'm in a place covered with snow. It's just so disorienting to be made aware in such an intense way of how different our realities are. And going about like a life as normal here feels like wrong and inappropriate and cold. Thinking about what's going on in other places, and then, but also, as we know, more suffering doesn't help suffering. I always felt growing up really guilty and privately ashamed of, like, even as a young girl, of how deeply I felt the pain of something else happening, someone else's experience. I would carry it with me. I would hear something on the news about some family from another state, whatever it was, and feel sick to my stomach for days. And like, there are some stories that I still stick with me. I could still remember them and remember how sick I felt, and some details about the news story or whatever it was. And now we call that empathy, and we acknowledge it as like this, I don't know, like a noble, kind, compassionate trait or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I just feel like somehow being that affected by the suffering of others, and yet not being able to help in any meaningful way, feels like selfish and, I don't know, like guess selfish is what it feels, but it's so funny how I would never think that of someone else. I was in a poetry class the other day, and the facilitator said something that really resonated with me. Her name's Travarna Hariharan, and her community is Wildflowers as Prayers. And so I was in class, and she had commented on how the poem, or a poem in general, doesn't need to resolve whatever it is you're addressing. It doesn't need to be resolved. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, because immediately I recognized that I'm not only asking my art to heal me, I'm expecting my art to resolve so many things inside of me. Just because the art can clarify and illuminate and help you feel through things doesn't mean that those things feel resolved or complete. So right now, I am feeling through and working on a new level of unconditional with my art and what that means. I'll read a journal entry for this morning. Because it feels very much in this world. Okay. I feel guilty for the pictures I don't take. I know better than to dismiss it as being lazy or incapable. I don't know, it all just feels like too much, as if I want to, but I can't. And also, I can, but I don't want to. I see photographers photographing their families so exquisitely, so often, and I feel the pang of a gross mix of guilt and apathy. At the core, I'm concerned with this and what it means. And I can't tell whether it's concern for my life or my work. I can't and won't force it, and so I sit. I want to be compelled, irresistibly drawn, obsessed, nearly possessed by my art. But what if that's killing it? What if I was right all along to feel uncomfortable with my photographer title? Because it was never about the photographs. There was just no other way. There was just no other way. So why feel this pull, this responsibility and demand of yourself to create art of your life? It's not exactly the creation part, it's more the not doing it that bothers me, not feeling compelled to do it that bothers me. And I don't know, part of me feels like maybe I'm just not inspired right now, and it's winter and I'm tired and the holidays and all the obvious, like, duh, we can't always be in a season of creation. And then another part of me feels like maybe I'm just really wanting another way. Maybe I'm just really craving to experience life through a different modality. And the guilt for not wanting and being genuinely inspired to be taking these pictures is wasted energy and also important information. I don't think guilt has to mean that it's like, oh, I know I should be doing it. I think guilt is shining a light on shame, and how do we unshame? How do we get more curious about why you feel like you need to do whatever you feel guilty about? And making it okay. What happens then when you come from a place of like clean slate, when you come from a place of neutrality? I'll read one more piece of writing that I made. This one I made for my ear. My fucking ear. It says, it's been 3 weeks since the virus traveled to my left ear and decided to confidently make a home for itself, as if answering a prayer. A constant ringing, a muffled clog, everything too loud and too quiet all at once. The most familiar experience. It's my metaphorical life, but this time in physical, tangible form. I've always desperately wanted to put my finger on the exact point of the sensation, and now that I can, I plead for it to go away. I push and I pull, I squeeze and try to blow it away with fear of the searing pain that always threatens to come with getting what I want. Each morning I open my eyes and for a brief moment, unsure if it's still here. A possible freedom from the very thing I've always wanted. Before the virus, I would put in earbuds and listen to brown noise, an attempt to quiet my mind and life in order to hear myself. 7,000 ways to listen and not one of them allowing me to hear whatever it is that I want. A taste of my own medicine and I cower like a child finally getting what they want and not being prepared to withstand what it means. This virus, too small to be seen but able to multiply within the living cells of a host. Maybe it will leave once I kill the part of me that invites it with conditions. Maybe if I welcome it unconditionally, it will die of the contentment of having nothing else to prove. And with that, I finished that. I was like, oh, no. How scary contentment feels to me. I don't know. That's another episode. I'm not ready to unpack that, but It is midway through January, and I have not done any sort of New Year's visioning, this, that, the other, whatever. I'm not there yet. That's okay. I want to give permission to you, if you feel like you need it, to let your personal New Year start whenever the fuck you want. Maybe the prompt for today can be whatever it is you're struggling with. Whatever it is you're struggling with, whatever it is that you are wrestling with, bring it to the forefront of your mind. We're about to do a magic trick, okay? And now, before you start thinking about or feeling into an answer or an impulse or an exploration around where to move with it, what if you insert right before that, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me for feeling other people's experiences deeply. There's nothing wrong with me for not feeling like taking pictures. There's nothing wrong with me for any emotion I feel. The jumping off point is there's nothing innately wrong with me or broken in me. And I'm probably going to be able to make quantum leaps. Non-linear quantum leaps. Okay. If this episode feels incomplete, it's because I feel incomplete right now. And I'm going to let it be incomplete because I'm working on not demanding everything I create resolve something inside of me. And ironically, maybe that will be resolving. Once again, I want to end by sending all of my love and heart and light and just everything inside of me to everyone struggling in the fires of California. And if you've lost irreplaceable family photographs, I would love to offer to create new ones for you, or recreate photographs from old home videos if you have those. I don't know. I don't even know what to offer. All I know is I would love to contribute something. If that's something that you would like. Okay. I am going to go peel the kids out of bed, get them dressed, get to work, drive to work. Okay. Until next time, let's just keep on moving slowly and gently with ourselves. And maybe I'll start my new year soon. I don't know. I'll let you know.
This has been an Awkward Sage production.